Hi guys, Fifa here, and to my 89 rated Inform Ederson player review. Looking through my comment section, Ederson is a goalkeeper a few people want me to review, so I thought I might as well pick him up and try him as my starting keeper over the weekend league. So if there are any players you'd like to see me review, just leave your suggestions in the comment section below, and let me know if you've used him and how he played for you. Anyway, as you can see on screen, this is the team I'm starting him in. Ederson in goal, Telles, Rudiger, Gomez and Semedo in defence, Lo Celso, Torreira and Allen in midfield, with Mane, Rodrigo and Pepe in attack. Ederson is 6'2", is left-footed, has a 1-star skill moves and a 3-star weak foot. In-game stat-wise, he's decently well-rounded and looks like a great keeper. I tried him with basic, glove and cat, and for me cat was the best by far, followed by basic and finally glove, which in my opinion really wasn't the best to use on this card and made him noticeably concede more goals than usual. Onto his traits, he has both the rushes out of goal and comes for crosses. So to begin, I'll discuss his diving, which felt decent on the whole. Although he's 6'2", which in general is on the small side for a goalkeeper in FIFA, he still had great coverage of the overall goal to keep shots from entering to the corners of the net. What I noticed was that he almost springs himself into the diving animation, giving him some momentum to be able to stop powerful shots, especially when they're taken from range. This isn't really something I've noticed with other keepers, but with Ederson he got this sort of diving boost quite a lot. I wouldn't say there was anything negative to say about his diving. He seemed to make decent diving animations the majority of the time, and I never really considered a goal where I thought his diving ability could have been blamed. His reflexes again were good, and he definitely saved me from a few losses in the weekend league. He probably made the same amount of reflex saves as other goalkeepers around this sort of stat, like Lloris and De Gea. I'd say they all perform relatively similar in this area, which makes sense considering they all have 89 to 90 reflex stats. I'd say this is where I saw the improvement with Ederson when using cat compared to glove or basic the most, as he did make a few more crazy stops against shots in difficult scenarios. Reflexes on goalkeepers so far in FIFA 21 are a lot like how they are in real life. Your keeper won't be able to stop everything, and sometimes he will concede easier chances to stop than some of the saves he makes. 65 speed makes him one of the fastest goalkeepers in this game, and you can feel that when he rushes out of goal. However, on the whole, I would have liked to have seen him come out a little more on his own, which is how I was expecting him to play like a true sweeper keeper. It might be worth putting some instructions on him to play like a sweeper keeper for saving outside the box. It's not something I've tried myself, so it might not work, but I'm guessing it would probably showcase his great speed a little bit more. When he did come out though, he managed to collect the ball from the attacker's feet on a few occasions, and against crosses and corners, I didn't have any issues at all. He always came out to punch the ball away from danger. Distribution wise, Ederson was as good as you expect him to be, although it's a bit of a minor con that he doesn't have the long throw trait. His kicking is by far the best in the game. With most keepers, you need to get some form of momentum with them whilst holding the ball to have the option to kick the ball deep into your opponent's half. But with this card, you can do it from a standing position. What I also noticed was that power-wise, it was basically the perfect placement to reach your attacker, but rarely trigger the opponent's goalkeeper from coming out to collect the ball, which makes counter-attacks easy to complete. His flat kicking whilst in open play was also great, and you shouldn't have any issues when finding yourself needing to clear the ball from the back. Ederson always managed to generate a decent amount of power and accuracy behind the ball. Now onto the main negatives, with the first being his handling, which for me really wasn't that great. 84 is sort of in that area, where he will catch the occasional shot, but in general he will push away strikes heading for the corners, or if they have a decent amount of power behind the ball. Although he didn't really cause me many issues in terms of rebounds, because of the way he dives, it does mean that you face more chances from corners, and allows your opponent to keep possession of the ball. Maybe his height does have something to do with this, as a lot of the time he manages to get a fingertip to the shot in order to make the save, which of course makes it more difficult for him to keep hold of the ball because of the type of diving animations he gets. His positioning was also kind of inconsistent. From outside the box it was fine, and I never really felt like I had to defend against shots from range, but inside the box, sometimes he just wasn't in the best position, which made it more difficult for him to make the save. At first, I thought it was an issue with his diving and reflexes, but I noticed he wasn't always central to the oncoming attacker, which meant shooting past him was slightly easier, as you were relying on him to stick out a hand or a foot to make the save, rather than his body, which is more likely to block the shot. On the plus side, he did well at readjusting to the ball, changing direction in the box, from passes and corners, or play movement. So overall, I'm going to give 89 Ederson an 8.7 out of 10. He was good for me in goal, and I would say he was a safe option, as he never really made any sort of mistakes for me, which is what you want from your keeper. The other thing to consider is his price compared to other goalkeepers, not just in the game, but also in the Premier League. If you don't have a lot of coins to spend, I wouldn't look at this Inform card, and would probably just go for his normal version or De Gea, and save yourself some money. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. And if you request any future content, then please leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to reply.